Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM in Santa Clarita, Los Angeles County. Good afternoon, Santa Clarita! Gotcha.
Didn't really get me. It's more so like, just you got me for a split second, but then I brought it all down.
Well, you need to raise it up. Everyone, you're listening to the Ask Brien radio show, AskBrien. And for those of you who have not listened to the show, people always ask the question, when I went to school, when I knew people named Brian, it was B-R-Y-A-N or B-R-I-A-N. Why are you spelling it B-R-I-E-N? And for that, we're going to ask the engineer. Where's your drum roll?
Oh, my drum roll. I actually had. No. I have it. There it is.
Thank you.
Well, we have a number of words that correlate with the Ask Brien show that start with E. A couple of these are effort, because everybody here gives 100% effort in what they do.
110.
110. Let's go even further. 110% effort. Other words we have is empathy. He was not very empathetic
What
with
does that mean?
It means putting yourself in other people's shoes. Is the gist of it.
What if my foot's too big and doesn't fit in those shoes?
Well, then you can't live a day in someone else's shoes. Boom.
Okay, what are the other reasons why you have E and Brian?
Experience, because everybody that is on the Ask Brien show is experienced in at least some form of something that they are experienced in. And
how about public speaking?
Like entrepreneurship?
yes, indeed, just like entrepreneurship.
I was actually asking him public speaking.
I know how to do public speaking.
But that doesn't start with an E.
Not very,
exactly.
Not very well.
See, Traci gets me.
Uh,
The other
Oh, that's scary. That's scary.
Getting you doesn't mean approving of you.
Ouch. Ouch. Let's see.
Ouch is with an O, not with an E.
That's also
maybe
very...
where you went to school. They didn't have spell check.
The other one isn't your favorite one enthusiasm?
It's excitement.
Okay, it was either one or the other, but they're both practically the same ones.
Well, I don't know. Is potato and potato, tomato and tomato?
Yeah, they're the same.
They might be spelled the same.
Spelled the same. Wait, what's the difference?
What about homonyms?
Oh, good point. That's a good
right.
point. All right, you got me there.
Well, you missed out engineer, but that's because,
You know what? I did forget about my favorite one. That's right. I forgot about engineer. I knew I was missing one of them. Well, you know what? Engineer, because you can't run the show without engineer.
Well, we have an engineer on our show today. We'll be getting back in touch with him very shortly. He's got a lot of background, and a lot of it's technical, so he's going to have to help our audience out, and we're going to be with him in about 1 minute. Before we get any further, though, so Ask Brien, AskBrien, the radio show that you're listening to now, is part of the Ask Brien network, AskBrien.com. That's a website. That website is on the internet and allows people to ask other people business questions, get answers to questions, learn something through experts. Basically, anything that you need for business to help you be successful, you can get off of the Ask Brien network, AskBrien.com. And we have our co-host, Traci. Traci, you there?
I am here.
Wow, that was loud. Are you trying to imitate me?
No, I wouldn't even attempt such a challenge. Are you kidding me?
All right, because I was going to say your name really loud if you did. All right. And then I believe the name of his company is Czar Power. Is that correct, Anthony?
That's correct.
All right, we have Anthony on the line. Is it Anthony, Tony? How do you like to be?
Yeah, Tony is perfect.
Tony the Tiger from Force of Flakes. Okay.
Tony the Tiger. That's it. 100%. 100%.
I'm sure no one's ever said that to you before, ever in your history.
No, it's very original.
Better than Tony from Scarface, but okay. All right, couple questions for you. What is your background, and what is Czar Power?
Yeah, Brian and team. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited to talk about this. So I'll start with what we're trying to do. So Czar Power, Czar is, since the spelling is of interest to this team. The name's a little atypical, so I'll kind of break it down first. Back now about 7 years ago, when the origin of this company began, my co-founder and I were kind of thinking about a name, and we were, workshopping a bunch of different ideas. We wanted to do a lot with engineering and, research and development. Those things are not exactly the sexiest to build a name off of, but one of the things that we were really passionate about was attacking the climate issue, the climate problem, energy independence and efficiency, not only in the United States, but globally. So we were trying to think, okay, carbon neutral, carbon zero, CZ. Now, I'm a terrible speller, but there's not a whole lot that you can make an acronym out of CZ. And ZAR, CZAR, is actually one that works. So carbon zero advanced research. And what we're trying to do is democratize energy in the United States and then globally. So we want to do what the internet and the personal computer did for information, we want to do with energy.
So before we go any further, just quickly give me a background when did you start Czar Power?
Yeah, great question. So it started, it was actually my co-founder, Nelson Wang. He was a PhD student at MIT. And for his thesis project, he had this amazing idea to combine electric vehicle fast charging with solar power. Now, there's a variety of reasons why, and why that technical challenge is so important that we can kind of get into later. But that was the genesis of this. It was his thesis project. He said, hey, I think there's really something here. We might be able to wrap up an actual business around that. So that's, back in 2013 is when this idea originated. Czar, as in its current form, was stood up officially in 2015. And it's been an amazing, crazy, wild road ever since then.
What did you do before Czar Power, though?
Yeah, so I spent my entire professional career in the Army, actually as a U.S. Army engineer officer. Got a master's degree in geological engineering, and then, it was very awesome and exciting to build this company while being in the Army. So you kind of I saw so many things shift, and there's a lot of similarities between what we were trying to solve from a technical perspective, and then what the Army was going through as it relates to energy independence, kind of shifting the mindset on because fuel, right, energy and power is such a huge deal in the military, and to be quite honest, it has literal life and death applications, right? So, the transportation in the fuel in a battlefield, as an example, there's huge, really kind of emphasized how important this problem was from a security, national security perspective, right? But then also from a climate perspective, from a business perspective, from like an engineer, actually hard problem to solve perspective, it kind of checked a bunch of boxes. So we embarked on this journey, and it's been a wild ride. Talking to people, and a lot of folks have kind of have this difficulty believing this, right? But it's similar to talking to one of the early computer or internet pioneers. When you talk to them, they're like, hey, we weren't really sure that this was going to actually be a thing, right? This could have been a fad. This could have went in a 1,000 different directions, and we didn't really know it was going to stick. A similar thing is absolutely true with, when we started to very early on talk about this and talk about electric vehicles, renewable energy, particularly solar power, and a few of the different technical components of this. I mean, this was before Elon Musk is the richest man in the world and the genie's out of the bottle, right? This is in the very early days where it's like, hey, electric vehicles might die again. No one's really sure. But now, for a variety of reasons, social and cultural, political, we're not going back. It's now kind of makes the most sense, not only if you're motivated from a climate change or climate perspective, or an air quality perspective, a national security perspective, from a business perspective, an efficiency perspective, or from an energy independence perspective, there's really one way to go, and we're well on our way there.
Question for you, slightly off topic though. Does the Army have any programs for electrical vehicles and electric transportation?
Yes. So, the Army is a pretty massive beast, involved in a lot of stuff. There's actually GM Defense, obviously the defense wing of General Motors. Pretty recently, there's been some really positive traction with. They have a pretty light, silent electric vehicle, right? Because there's a lot of positive benefits from a military perspective that electric vehicles can help with, right? So, the noise is a huge factor. Maintenance, so electric vehicles just cost less to maintain over the lifetime of a vehicle. We see this with the electric pickup truck company Lordstown Motors in my beloved Ohio. There, in Lordstown's case, they do a head-to-head comparison between the Lordstown Endurance, their pickup truck, and the Ford F-150. Lordstown's strategy is, fleet vehicles, electric pickup trucks, and they really, I think they do a brilliant job. They do, they don't get into an argument. They don't talk about anything climate related or anything. They just get down to the brass tacks because it's a business-to-business model. And they say, look, here's how much a Ford F-150 is going to cost in 5 years, and here's how much the Endurance is going to cost you in 5 years. And I think the kind of the generic, you can play with the data on the website, but just a normal head-to-head comparison, you're going to save almost $20,000 in a 5-year period buying an electric pickup truck versus an F-150, right? So a lot of people think it's the fuel, and that's absolutely a huge part of it, but it's also the maintenance cost, right? And if you think about the way the military is designed, the way the Army is designed, right? We don't fight home games, right? So we travel. We have kind of expeditionary in nature, and all of that. So any part comes with a logistics train, right? That involves crossing either the number one or number two largest body of water in the world, and then pushing it further to whatever theater that this needs to go to. So the maintenance aspect of this is a huge critical component. And then there's also some other benefits to have energy kind of captured in a battery in a vehicle. You can start to do some very interesting things with as far as thinking of a vehicle that is fully charged as a generator, something that is able to generate electricity and potentially push it towards other applications, which is something that we at Czar are actually working on.
So let's go to up to where we are right now. You have a product already out, or is it not out yet?
No, not out yet. We're real close to final product development. We need to make a couple tweaks, and then it'll be ready for mass production.
And when do you think that'll be, approximately?
I'm guessing in the next. It's a little dependent on a few things, but probably the next 6 to 9 months.
And what is
we're gonna demonstrate its functionality as part of a project with Massachusetts State, and we're going to charge an electric vehicle in real time in Boston using 100% solar energy from a solar carport.
So your product is for cars? Is it for other electrical items? What is it for?
Yeah, great question. So similar to someone asking, what is the internet for, or what is a computer for? It has a wide range of applications, right? One of them is, again, going back to like that core original technology. We wanted to solve. In the early days, there were several things holding back mass electric vehicle adoption. One of them was the ability to charge your electric vehicle relatively quickly in the comfort and privacy of your own home. So that was one of them, right? But also, again, in the early days, some of the pushback for electric vehicles was, well, hey, you're going to pat yourself on the back and you're going to say how green you are, but then you're just going to charge your electric vehicle with the energy that you get from a coal burning power plant. really how environmentally friendly or conscious are you? So yeah, I mean that's a fair point. I'm not going to nerd out on the science on whether or not that may or may not be true. But the other problem that we wanted to solve was that right now, everyone pays for the energy in their house or a condo or apartment, and then for their normal day-to-day operations. But then we kind of outsource the energy, the power that is required for our transportation, our vehicle, by using something else, right? That something else is obviously a gas station. So if everyone started to drive electric vehicles tomorrow, right, we would create an insane spike in the energy demand that many grids across the country could not handle. And certainly, we simply don't have the infrastructure to cover down if everyone started to do that tomorrow. So kind of with all of these in mind, we were thinking, there's really only one solution to all of these problems. And that is to be able to charge your electric vehicle and then also invert solar energy to help with this, right? So it answers the question or solves the problem of, using, you're buying an electric vehicle because you're environmentally conscious. Well, then rather than using the energy that you're getting from your coal-burning power plant, you're getting it literally from the sun. The other key component of this is simply by installing solar on your house or in your apartment complex or whatever, you can help offset that spike as electric vehicles become mass adopted. And we're really going to hit a point, I think, here that's going to blow a lot of people's minds. Again, it's kind of slow to start. Electric transportation is kind of slow to start, but now it's going to go gangbusters. I mean, we're going to see in the next 3 to 5 years, I think, tremendous strides because again, it makes sense from every perspective, and not just the environment, right? It just makes sense from a cost to own perspective, a purely logical, pragmatic business perspective. Electric vehicles, and then also some cool stuff, right? Like acceleration, other cool, a little less tangible things also matters, right? And it also has obviously that climate component of this that makes it just it's just a better deal all around. So what we wanted to do was, okay, how do you solve all of these problems as seamlessly as possible and kind of bring everything in together? So we can charge an electric vehicle, depending on the charger that you have for your electric vehicle, 3 to at least twice as fast as what comes with standard electric vehicles. We can use the solar on your house or in your building to do that 100%, charge your vehicle using 100% renewable energy, 100% solar energy. But I think the really the more exciting thing is it's not just that, right? So we've designed this. We went through, again, a thesis project we're on version 3 right now. And we enabled some pretty sweet functionality to bring, I hate the term future-proof, but in some regards to future-proof. We're kind of looking towards the future when things like stationary storage, so like home batteries, Tesla has the Powerwall. It's probably the best example of this. But to be able to store your energy and then use it when it's most advantageous to the user, right? Because one of the drawbacks, and it's not that big of a deal, but one of the drawbacks of solar is there's peak energy usage and price when everyone wakes up and gets ready to go to work and goes to work. Then it bottoms out, and then it peaks again when everyone comes home, and then goes to bed, and then drops again. Well, the awkward thing for solar is the sun's shining in that window. Now it's in practicality, there's no issue with that, right? But if you're talking about maximizing efficiency, to be able to capture the energy at peak hours and be able, whether it's selling it back to the grid or just not using energy when everyone else is using it, to kind of balance out the demand on the grid to prevent things like rolling blackouts or brownouts. That's another component to this. And then the last component that we're working on,
we're going to hold off. We'll be right back with that last one. You're listening to KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM.
When you're looking for a midnight snack, sometimes fast food just doesn't cut it. California Bakery and Cafe is open 24/7, so you'll be able to find fresh donuts, danishes, bagels, all-natural fruit juices, gourmet sandwiches, and much more at any hour. With elaborate cakes for any occasion, including weddings, baptisms, anniversaries, corporate events, or any special event. California Bakery and Cafe in Santa Clarita is open 24 hours to satisfy any craving, anytime. Call us 255-1254. That's 255-1254.
Comfort Keepers provides your loved one with loving in-home care.
Miles McNamara, certified senior advisor and owner of Comfort Keepers in-home care.
Our caregivers can help you in your own home, enhancing independence, creating safety and comfort. Our Comfort Keepers provide companionship, meal preparation, medication reminders, assistance with personal care, and even transportation to doctor's appointments. If someone you love can use a helping hand at home, visit comfortkeepers.com.
Or call 287-4200.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years' experience, the Law Office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the Law Office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
Hometown, your hometown station.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. Like no other station in the world. All right, we're back. I like how you did that voice, engineer.
What can I say? I am a jack of all trades.
Well, there's another word that starts with a J and a K, but I won't say that on the air.
Oh, you're so mean to
No,
Patty.
hey,
Patty,
so
I love you.
Hey,
Thank you, Tracy.
Steve Martin was excellent in that movie. About gas cans. And, well, we got a lot of stuff to go, so I really have to get serious right now. And we're
Oh, no.
I have to. We have so much information. There's so much technical information here that, you know, if I actually went to my shtick, we wouldn't hear everything, and it's very important. So, Tony the Tiger, we're back. No bananas in the cereal. Anyway, you were giving us some examples and some information, and you were holding back on one. So, go ahead and give your final response.
Yeah, so quick recap. Charge your electric vehicles really fast at your house or apartment or work.
What in the world?
I think that must be the battery technology. That really went bad.
My goodness. Hold on.
What is happening? We're under siege. We're being taken hostage.
No, Tony's probably been attacked. Tony was attacked.
I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna kick him off and then bring him back in.
All right.
Ooh, boy.
Oh, my. Whew.
Well, that was rude of you, Patty.
Sorry about this.
Yeah. I don't know what you just dropped.
You know, there was a
drop
book.
the bass on everybody. Hold on.
There was a book by Dale Carnegie. You know, and you need to
That
read
will
that book.
show you not to pick on the engineer. Do not pick on the engineer.
But Tony wasn't.
He has the
Tony
power.
wasn't. Not the Czar Power, though.
Let me. Actually, he's calling back. Oh, he was. Let me get him back on the line. You guys just, keep talking, but I'll get him. See if he sounds.
I thought he was
good.
Listen, Tracy, we know that he was very afraid of the questions you were going to ask because you discussed it with him before, and that was the big
I
problem.
know. I really
You
didn't think
scared
I
him
was
off.
that intimidating.
You're very intimidating.
I was just trying to be so subtle and nice, but I mean, I do have that side to me. It's run people off.
Apparently, and you match with Czar Power.
Yes,
So-
he said, "I'm done with this. I'm out
So
of here."
we're about to find out whether or not it was Tony's phone or whether or not it was the engineer doesn't know what he's doing. We'll find out very soon. we would take a commercial break, but we can't because Patty's trying to figure out what's going on. In the meantime, we have a very good guest with Czar Power. Tony was discussing the different. Tony, are you there? Hello?
I just got him on, and all of a sudden he just hung up again. What is that?
I'm really starting to take this personally. I really think it was
I
me.
think you should. It's apparent that's the reason.
Yeah, I just, I try so hard, but sometimes I just, that tiger side of me just comes out, and what can you do?
So, he didn't have any problem with his phone beforehand, so I'm wondering if it's the phone or if it's Patty with the engineering board. Are you there?
I am.
Heyo, there we go.
Wow. I don't know why the engineer decided to kick you off because you're both engineers, but obviously he doesn't
Maybe,
like you.
yeah. I'm not coming for your job. I promise. I promise.
I think it was
but-
really
That's a relief.
no. It happened because he's in the Army and he has this basic confidential information that he was not supposed to tell, and so they had to kick him off.
Yeah, the man just kicked me off. The irony of talking about really difficult technical problems and then getting technically disconnected is pretty rich. So.
And don't forget the oil companies.
Yeah. There's a lot of folks who probably don't want to hear what I have to say. So if you guys experience a power outage here in the next 5 minutes, you know why.
Exactly.
I thought we were under siege. Well, first of all, I thought we were under siege. And then second of all, I thought I offended you, and you were like, I'm done with this girl.
Not even close.
I am, so I don't know why he wouldn't be.
You're just not kind. Let's resume our interview.
Well, anyway, so you were talking about the speed of the battery, and so is it that the battery can get charged quicker under your system?
That's exactly right. So, and I won't get into a whole bunch of nerdy stuff. But whenever an electric vehicle manufacturer comes up with whatever electric vehicle they're going to run, they got to make a lot of decisions on the size of the battery and what it's made out of. And then it's just a matter of, can you push enough electrons, energy into that battery to charge it a little quicker.
Now, were you charging your phone with a battery, and that's what caused the problem?
No, it's I don't think that was the issue.
All right. Well, Traci has a lot of questions since I've taken up most of the time. Traci's going to begin. You're on. Go.
Okay, so I would love to ask you some questions about the building block foundations of your business. And first of all, let's start with your team. So you talked about you and your co-founder, but how did you expand and build your team, and what does that look like for your growth?
Yeah, great question. So, I am very, very blessed to have a tremendous amount of caliber of people on the Czar team is really incredible. So myself and Nelson, we're the ones that stood it up and are co-founders together. And then we brought on some of the smartest people that I have ever met. Kevin and Alan are on the engineering side, on the electrical engineering side, have been tremendous with developing this technology. Again, going from pulling it from an idea all the way to version 3, and then demonstrating this in real time here in the summer. And then also brought on the newest member of the team, Mo. She's been fantastic to kind of help me with the business side of things and kind of the marketing, the humanizing element of this. Because when you're in a team and you're all kind of engineers, there's 4 engineers and 3 of them are really, really, really smart, way smarter than me. Electrical engineers, things tend to get a little bit more, data heavy and, kind of nerdy, maybe than they should be. Mo has helped me so much and kind of helped the company both in how we look, website overhaul, helping with, pitch decks and just really crafting our message in a more humanizing way. So, we're a pretty small team. One of the things that the Army, I think, taught me really well is, you can't underestimate the power of small motivated teams. So over the last, we've raised a little over $1 million. The last time we won Massachusetts Clean Energy competition, which is that resulted in a project which is where we're building the charging electric vehicle in Boston, and that's really financed the version 0 through 3. So a ton of lessons, right? And I'll let you ask the questions, but I've experienced a ton of different things. I'm absolutely an open book. I'd be happy to answer any questions or kind of share lessons learned to the wider community.
No, I'd love for you to share the lessons learned, because that's so helpful for our listeners who are starting out building any company, but especially an innovative energy company like yourself. So yes, please share some lessons learned. So,
the first thing that comes to my mind is, timing. Timing is so crucial, right? And it's, not to sound, kind of bland or cliche, but, I truly believe if you had 10 companies, if you set up 10 companies, and those 10 companies did exactly the same thing, 4 would probably be too early and would go out of business, go bankrupt, not even get a chance to start. And 4 would be too late. They would miss the wave. And then, maybe if you're lucky, 2 of those 10 are, happen to be where all of these stars align, to be able to capitalize on an opportunity, right? So, maybe the best, there's a luck component to this, right? Like, let's just call a spade a spade. There is a luck component to this, but maybe the best definition of luck I've ever read was it's the intersection where opportunity meets preparation. Because, you can prepare or have the best idea and the best team and absolutely nail a trend that you think is going to come. But if you're just a little too early and other folks can't see it, or a little too late, right? It doesn't matter. On the flip side of the house, as opportunities come, right, societal waves, whether it's, the dot-com boom, or you could talk about real estate, you could talk about now, you could absolutely with clean tech, that wave hits society. And if you don't have anything, right, if you're not prepared, you're going to miss it, right? You're not going to ride that wave. So it really is that intersection between being prepared and then as soon as that opportunity presents itself, being able to pull the trigger.
Sounds like a surfer.
Yeah. There's absolutely some similarities there. Yeah.
Well, it also sounds like being prepared, being ready, but it also sounds a lot like showing up, following up, and following through too, because that, with a small and mighty team, those pieces are very critical.
Absolutely. And really the other cool part of this is, and if I could, give some advice to the folks out there.
As much as you like.
Because it's such, because timing is such a crucial aspect of this, don't get discouraged if you are, either you show up a little too early or a little too late to the party, right? Figure out some of the things that you can adjust and hit it again, right? Because it is a matter of hitting that wave just right. So if you get knocked out, don't quit. Absolutely do not quit. Just because it might not have anything to do with you or your team or, the money that you have or you threw at this business right now. My heart goes out to so many small business owners who were affected by the pandemic, right? And I think that's a great example.
You and me both. Yes.
Of something, yeah. And again, like with that, I mean, that's really what can drive this point home. I could have ready to start like the greatest restaurant of all time, right? Some kind of crazy food fusion. It would have knocked everyone's socks off and would have won a bunch of Michelin stars. But just because I started or was about to start during the pandemic and got wiped out or didn't even get an opportunity to start doesn't mean that the idea was wrong, right? It doesn't mean that you shouldn't dust yourself off and try again as soon as you possibly can, kind of get back on your board and keep surfing.
Let's talk about the journey of your raising of your investment capital funds. Did you find that was something that was easy for you? I know you mentioned that you had someone on your team that really helped you humanize the aspect of the company and the deck and things itself. But what were your conversations like with potential investors? Did you find it challenging, or were everybody like, hell yes, let's do this?
No. So great question. So, in the early days, again, this was very much like, no one believed in the things that we kind of saw as the future, right? There's so many folks didn't believe that electric vehicles were going to take off. They didn't believe that solar could make sense from a cost per kilowatt perspective. No one was talking about big home, stationary storage batteries. No one was really talking about smart software. So there was a tremendous challenge in the first few years of the company to kind of gain traction from a financial perspective. So, again, this is, I was in the Army doing Army full time, right? And that was crucial to this, because when most investors just didn't get it, didn't see it, couldn't envision the future, I wasn't kind of hung out to dry, burning through cash to support myself or my family. I had a full-time job, and was able to kind of nug away at this during the margins, right? Whether it was after I got home at night or over the weekend. And that's maybe another piece to this. Again, it's related to timing, but another piece of this that I might share is, I think there's a lot of, entrepreneurial myths out there. And one of my least favorite is the whole, burn your ships, right? There's no turning back. I think that might, may have to do more with having sociopathic and maybe pyrotechnic, obsessions than it has to do with being, making a smart decision. Because for me, from a stress level, knowing that myself and my family would be taken care of through, working full time, and then also having this passion project to kind of wait until the technology was there, the emphasis from government and from society was there to really kind of have this take off. That was crucial, because we would not be having this conversation today, if I burned my ships and never had full employment and was trying to do Czar full time, back in 2013, 2014, 2015 when we officially started, because there was no money, right? We would run out of money. So I would absolutely say, to whatever degree possible, until the conditions are set, and whatever business, whatever conditions, in the particular business matter, absolutely, think about that as a way to do entrepreneurship a little differently.
That's so great. How are you, pivoting points for a moment and talking through the marketing side of things, what is your vision for marketing this, and who's your target person to reach, and how are you planning on reaching them?
Yeah, great. So primarily, in the early days, we were thinking this is a solid, B2B play, business to business play. For a variety of reasons, I think that's largely true. Just because you can, it's a lot better from a business perspective, from a cost savings perspective, if you can incorporate the technology that we're working on, charging your electric vehicles, solar inversion, stationary storage, smart home software, if you can do that all in new construction, right? So this is where you really see some of the government regulations that have come out, out in California, hey, solar on buildings. Massachusetts just passed a very, very ambitious, climate bill where, all of those things help with, who do we think is going to use this, and what is exactly the use case from a marketing perspective. So, we're still, I think, for a variety of reasons in the business to business play. But really, we're not done after this. We're not going to be a one-hit wonder. So, the team is really close knit. We really care about solving important technical problems. So one of the things that we want to do kind of, moving forward is, toy around with the technology a little bit. Obviously, work on dropping the price, maybe adding a little bit more modularity, and then making that kind of business to consumer play. Because ultimately, we, as an American, I'm interested in helping America solve this problem. But then also, Mo was born in Nigeria, and she's been so impactful, kind of keeping the perspective global. And the cool thing about that is, there's a lot of folks out there who are off the grid, and that's great because they don't have a grid to mess with. So when you're talking about solar and bringing a lot of things online, a microgrid, the smallest microgrid is a microgrid of one house, right? So we see applications for this in the future going international, and we're really excited about that.
We're going to be right back. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years experience, the law office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the law office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
These days, it's hard to figure out how to fill all the self-isolation time, let alone figure out what to have for lunch or dinner. Salt Creek Grill owner Greg Amsler is helping us out in a big, big way. Salt Creek is now offering takeout and curbside pickup, so you don't even have to get out of your car. Their entire menu is available for pickup or delivery, including to-go beer and wine. Hey. In addition, Greg's offering wine at 25% off, along with daily specials. If you'd like to buy a gift card for a future visit, now's the time. Buy a $50 gift card and get $10 extra on the card completely free. Buy a $100 gift card, you get an extra $25. Salt Creek Grill, located next to Regal Cinema at the Valencia Mall. For more info, go to saltcreekgrill.com.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you.
Experience Frontier Toyota's all-new hot and exciting Toyota lineup. Serving the Santa Clarita Valley for over 30 years. Frontier Toyota, the Camry, Corolla, and Prius Kings. They're tops in Tacoma and Tundra trucks. Frontier Toyota, the new way of car buying. Shop from home at frontiertoyota.com or visit their showroom at Valencia and Creekside. Discover a whole new car buying experience with your friends at Frontier Toyota.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM with our co-host, Traci. Traci, are you there?
Do you know I've had to start taking anxiety medicine because of this?
You and me both.
My nervous system. Okay, let's get back into our fascinating guest interview. We could talk to you for so much longer than the time that we have. What's your timeline for this product to market?
Yeah, so the short answer is, and unfortunately it's a little complicated. It's all about speed at this point, and it's all about money. So right now we're looking at we can parse words on what you want to call it, right? Whether it's late seed or Series A. We're looking for a $5 million investment right now because, again, speed is the name of the game. 5 or 7 years ago when we started out with this, we were literally laughed out of some offices that, like, hey, this is not a thing. You guys can't do this. This is impossible. You guys are nuts. You kids are crazy. Get out of here. And I've watched, right, over 5 or 7 years, I've watched this be like completely 180-degree opposite, right? So, I'm under no illusions or delusions that there are a ton of people from everything from well-established Fortune 500 companies through, some guy in his garage right now working on these problems. So it is all about speed, and that capital injection will enable us to kind of put beef up the engineer team and to knock this out pretty soon. Pending on UL certification and how long that process takes, we think we can probably come to market 6 to 9 months after that capital injection.
Wow. And so do you feel like that is a pretty easy get for that level of investment, taking it to the next level?
Yeah. I'm obviously biased. I would think that it makes a lot of sense. We'll see here in the, there's been, again, in just the last couple months, there's been tremendous tremendous emphasis with a lot of the political issues that have happened, right? I mean, we're in a very different world, before November's election and then after, and then also, again, before the election in Georgia and then after, right? So essentially you're looking at a federal government that's, White House, House of Representatives, and Senate all aligned with the party who's right now gonna be very interested in climate initiatives, and then also regulating, where you get your energy, both from regulating the auto industry with gas, right, internal combustion engines, and then also the utility companies with, coal or whatever fossil fuels that they're using to power the grid. So I think, if I could put my finger on why is there a lot more interest in us now than even, again, pre-November, my guess is that.
And so you're actively recruiting and looking for investors right now. What are some of the other things that you're doing while you're waiting on that investment parallel tracking to get to that launch?
Yeah. So for us, obviously, because speed is the name of the game, money matters, investment matters. But really, like, what I'm interested in is just developing, partners in this. Like, if anyone else is interested in democratizing energy, in helping offset the carbon emissions, is just interested and likes to nerd out on the technology side of the house, I would be more than happy, and the team would be more than happy to just kind of like talk you through what we're doing, some of your ideas, because right now it's very important to me to build relationships with just interested parties who are just curious about what we have going on. So absolutely, the finance aspect is a huge part of this, but also, on a human level, I'm just interested in connecting with people and kind of answering any questions that could come up.
So we have about 50 seconds.
Perfect.
We have about 50 seconds left.
Yeah.
How can people connect with you?
Yeah, so LinkedIn, you can find me on LinkedIn, and then our website, czarpower.com, CZAR power.com, and then my email's on there, but Anthony, ANTHONY .Frisone, FRISONE @czarpower.com.
And we've got about 20 seconds left. Your last words.
Thank you guys so much for the opportunity to come on. Really appreciate it. I'm really excited about the future.
Go Czar
Thank
Power!
you. You've been-
Czar Power! Czar Power!
Go
Czar Power!
Go Czar Power! Go Czar Power!
Woohoo! That's called excitement. We're done.
Yeah.
KHTS
Energy.
1240 and 98.1 FM.